Sarah Ayeku is standing by live for us. Last time we spoke with you, you were in Okitipupa, within Okitipupa local government area. Confirm your location now for us and what's happening now.
So I'm still within Okitipupa. It's one of the largest local governments in Ondo State. So it's pretty large. I was at Igbo, but now I'm, right at Okitipupa. This is where you call Okitipupa. So this was the polling unit I was at early this morning. This is polling unit 010. That's polling unit 10, Ward 13. And this is where we had some sort of chaotic scene. Of course, election is over, voting is over, and you can see how peaceful this area. This is the Olale quarters. And so what you have there now is INEC ad hoc staff cancelling some of the sheets that were unused for this election. That's the ballot papers. And so that's what they're trying to do. And you see the party agents there just waiting for them to collect the results. Sorting and counting ended a couple of minutes ago. And so what they're doing right now is cancelling out the unused ballot papers, writing the results, and then uploading to IREV. And so just down the street, right, is where the collation center is. Just this stretch, of Okitipupa Road is where the collation center is. And so when they're done at this particular point, they take it down to the LG collation center, which is not too far from here. And that's where all of the, it's another round of collation starts when it leaves the ward level. It continues at the local government collation center, and then we can now go to Akure, the state capital. Of course, we are also trying to rush down to Akure to see, and get all of the drama that would come with this sorting and collation. Of course, sorting, collation, and announcement of this result, because this is a very keenly contested election between, of course, the major political parties in the state. Okay.
Right. Well, so far, so good on the part of INEC, at least going by observers such as Yaga that have released initial reports, giving them kudos of some sorts. But now that we are in the sorting, counting, collation stage, what is INEC doing from what you are seeing to ensure that indeed they've learned their lessons and we are getting a truly improved INEC?
This is the penultimate lap, second to the last lap, just before announcement of the result. This is a very crucial moment where most of the party agents have issues with. And so at this particular polling unit, you see them, of course, standing guard, be there on guard just to ensure that the results being collated on the sheets are the results, are the ballot papers counted for these particular polling units. And so what you see here, after the sorting and counting is done, they take that sheet where they are collating the results on, they take it to the local government. This is the ward level, take it to the local government, and then it continues onward to the state level. And so you can see the security operatives also standing guard and waiting just to ensure that nothing happens. For INEC, although we had a bit of issues, technicalities for the Beavers machine, it was not really rampant as if you compare it to what we had in the Edo State governorship election. But what we're seeing today is some sort of improvement, particularly in this local government where I'm at. We didn't really record a lot of incidences for polling units where there were incidents of Beavers malfunction. It worked later on, but at some point it wasn't working for the elderly, but then it worked. And sometimes it slows down the process, but of course people are happy that at the end of the day they could vote, they could stand on queue, be accredited, and then vote for the candidates of their choice. So for election observers, they've said that INEC started on time. That for them, they give them that. They're giving them a pass mark on that. If you take a look at the Edo State government election, right, there were issues concerning the time election was supposed to start. There were also concerns about these rural communities, and we understand that in Ilaje, which is one of the riverine communities where election started right on time. Even here in Okitipupa, which is not too far from Ilaje, election started right on time. And in some of the local governments and from some of the reports we've gotten, election started on time. And so that's a pass mark for INEC. Now is the crucial time where we would see them upload the results on IREV, and then what would happen at the state level. That's at the collation center in Akure. So we're waiting to see, of course, get feedback from all of the party agents, because they are like the eyes and the watchdogs for this election, apart from the security operatives, of course.
Well, the post-mortem has commenced, and we're talking. We brought you on board at the time where we're just talking about voter turnout. Ayeku also had a thing or two to say about that. In fact, it's projecting as low as 30% turnout on the part of voters across Okitipupa, where I would say you covered, for the most part of the day. What's the major takeaway for you in terms of voter turnout?
Election is at the grassroots. That's like the major takeaway for me. So if you think that these people do not matter or do not have the numbers, if you look at the statistics, particularly the PVCs collected in some of these local governments, Ondo South may not is the second, of course, second largest PVCs collected. But if you take a look at, people always concentrate on Ondo Central because you have the people living in the urban centers. A lot of persons they have registered and collected their PVCs in those areas. But when we went to the market last night, Kemi, some of them said today is a day for them to cook their favorite food, and so they're not planning to come out on election day. But we had thought that election was going to be that boring also at the grassroots, but hey, we got here and then we saw the crowd come out. They were actually, following the process, even when some party agents were trying to, make a fast run on certain processes. People followed through and they waited until the elections were over. They waited until the ballots were sorted and counted. So the takeaway for me is, for politicians, right, work on the grassroots. And I can tell you, for some of the politicians, right, and when they were trying to canvass for votes, you will hear people say, what have you done for me that I would vote for you? Like they were saying it today. So it's the takeaway for me is that, politicians should also understand that election is at the grassroots. It's the people at the grassroots in these rural communities that can actually garner the votes needed to win. Maybe not necessarily, right, the city centers, that's the state capital. Maybe not necessarily, because you have the elites there who may not trust the democratic process.
Sarah Ayeku, all right, you've already given us a sense of what the rest of your day will be like. Let's just leave you to get on with that. Thanks a lot for the updates from your end. We look forward to hearing from you all, hearing more from you all. Let's come back to the studio now for more discussions. Of course, Jide Ologun, as well as Chris Kende Nwando are still very much here with me. In the meantime, let's also check out, let's see some more of the sights and sounds coming in from Okitipupa, where our reporter Sarah Ayeku just brought us updates from. She says sorting is underway, and we are seeing a glimpse of that now. Shortly after that, Sarah says we will finish up from here and then move further down the street for the collation from Okitipupa before all the votes and all the results will be taken to the state capital, Akure. Right, Ondo decides 2024. Let's come back now to the studio. So, Mr. Ologun, well, one of